Hey Maya, you know that feeling when you're in an English conversation and it's like watching a movie with the sound muted?
Oh, Leo, I know that feeling all too well. It's like the words are there, but they just don't click. It's so frustrating.
Exactly. It's like you're hearing the words, but the meaning is just slipping through your fingers. That's not just a listening problem, Maya. It's a connection problem.
Absolutely. You see, we are surrounded by English. We hear it in movies, on the social media, in conversations. But are we really hearing it? Or are we just absorbing a background hum?
It's true. We often think we're listening, but we're just passively absorbing sounds.
We can't learn English with such noises, right? So today, we're going to reduce this noise and unlock the secret to truly hearing English. We'll move from being passive recipients of English to active participants. We'll also learn to connect with the speaker, to understand their emotions, and to truly grasp the nuances of their language. Welcome to the English Café, where we build stronger communication skills through empathy and active listening. I'm your host, Maya.
And I'm Leo. Today, we're diving deep into how to truly hear English.
Let's get started.
Maya, we talk a lot about speaking and grammar in English learning, but I think we often overlook a fundamental skill, listening. And not just hearing, but active listening.
You're absolutely right, Leo. It's like we're building a house and forgetting to lay the foundation. We can't expect to speak fluently if we can't fully understand what's being said to us.
Exactly. And it's not just about understanding the words themselves, is it? It's about grasping the meaning behind them, the intention of the speaker. It's about connecting on a human level.
That's where active listening comes in, Leo. It's a conscious effort to pay attention, to truly engage with the speaker. It's about moving beyond just processing sounds and actually absorbing the message.
Think of it this way, Maya. When we're truly listening, we're not just passively receiving information. We're actively participating in the conversation, even if we're not speaking.
It's like we're building a bridge between ourselves and the speaker. We're creating a connection, a shared understanding.
And for English learners, this is especially crucial because English isn't just a collection of words and rules. It's a living, breathing language full of nuances, subtleties, and cultural context.
And that's what active listening helps us unlock. It allows us to access those hidden layers of meaning, to understand the speaker's perspective, and to truly connect with them.
Today, we're going to explore how to make this shift from passive hearing to active listening. We're going to delve into practical techniques, strategies, and even a bit of empathy to help you become a more effective and engaged listener.
We're going to show you how to truly hear English, to understand the heart of the message, and to build stronger connections with English speakers.
So get ready to tune in, to focus, and to discover the power of active listening in your English learning journey. So Maya, we know active listening is crucial, but let's really break down why it's so difficult for English learners. It's not just a matter of trying harder, right?
Exactly, Leo. It's a complex web of factors. First off, the sheer speed of native speakers can be overwhelming. It's like trying to decipher a rapid-fire code.
Right. And it's not just the speed, it's the naturalness of it. Native speakers use contractions, slang, and filler words that can completely throw us off.
And then there's the vast spectrum of accents. Even within a single country, you can encounter so many variations. It's like learning multiple dialects at once.
That's so true. And it's not just about understanding the words. It's about getting used to the rhythm and intonation of different accents.
And let's not forget the minefield of idioms. These expressions are often culturally specific and can be completely opaque to non-native speakers.
They're like hidden traps. You think you understand the individual words, but the meaning is completely different.
And then there's the persistent struggle with mental translation. We're constantly trying to convert English words into our native language, which slows down our processing speed and distracts us from the speaker's message.
It's like trying to run a marathon with weights on your ankles, and this mental translation often leads to selective listening. We focus on the words we understand and ignore the rest, which means we miss crucial context and nuances.
And let's be honest, we often get caught up in our own anxieties. We're worried about making mistakes, sounding awkward, or not understanding everything. This anxiety creates a mental block that prevents us from truly listening.
And sometimes it's just plain old distraction. Our minds wander, we think about our to-do list, or we get sidetracked by background noise.
Or we're so focused on formulating our response that we completely miss what the speaker is saying.
It's a perfect storm of challenges, Maya. No wonder active listening is so difficult.
Exactly. But that's why we're here, to help our listeners navigate these challenges and unlock the power of active listening.
Maya, we've talked about the challenges, but now let's get into the solutions. How do we actually become active listeners in English?
Excellent question, Leo. It's not just a passive skill, it requires conscious effort. First and foremost, give your full attention. This means minimizing distractions. Put away your phone, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and find a quiet environment if possible.
And it's not just about physical distractions, right? It's about mental distractions too. We need to quiet that inner voice that's constantly translating or formulating a response.
Exactly. Focus on the speaker, not on your internal monologue. Make eye contact, if culturally appropriate, and truly engage with their presence. And don't just listen to the words. Listen for both verbal and nonverbal cues.
What do you mean by that, Maya?
Well, think about it. Tone of voice can convey a lot of emotion. Is the speaker excited, hesitant, or frustrated? Facial expressions and body language also provide valuable clues. A smile, a frown, a shrug. They all add context to the spoken words.
That's a great point. We often focus solely on the words and miss these crucial nonverbal signals.
And to ensure we're understanding correctly, we need to practice reflective listening. This involves paraphrasing what the speaker has said to confirm our understanding. For example, you could say, "So if I understand correctly, you're saying," or "what I'm hearing is."
That's a fantastic technique. It shows the speaker that you're actively engaged and gives them an opportunity to clarify any misunderstandings.
And to encourage the speaker to elaborate and provide more context, we should ask open-ended questions. These are questions that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. For example, you could ask, "Could you tell me more about that?" Or, "What are your thoughts on?"
And perhaps the most important technique of all, listen with empathy. Try to understand the speaker's feelings, perspective, and intentions. Put yourself in their shoes and try to see the situation from their point of view.
Empathy is key. It allows us to connect with the speaker on a deeper level and truly understand their message. It's about recognizing that language is more than just words. It's about human connection.
And remember, active listening isn't just a one-time thing. It's a skill that requires consistent practice. Be patient with yourself, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. The more you practice, the better you'll become.
And don't forget, even when you don't understand every word, you can still focus on the overall message and the speaker's emotions. That's where empathy truly shines.
Maya, we've covered the core techniques, but what are some really specific practical things our listeners can do to actively improve their listening skills?
Excellent question, Leo. We need to give them concrete steps they can take right away. First, immerse yourself in diverse audio materials. Don't just stick to one type of English. Seek out podcasts, audiobooks, interviews, news broadcasts, and even online lectures on topics that interest you.
And it's important to vary the accents they listen to, right?
Absolutely. Don't just listen to American or British English. Explore Australian, Canadian, Irish, and other English varieties. This will train your ear to recognize different pronunciations, intonations, and rhythms.
And what about dealing with the speed of native speakers?
That's where the pause and rewind method comes in handy. Don't be afraid to pause the audio whenever you need to. Rewind and listen again, especially to sections you found challenging. Many apps and media players have speed controls, so you can even slow down the audio slightly.
That's a great tip. And what about using subtitles?
Use subtitles strategically. Don't rely on them all the time. Watch a video or listen to an audio clip first without subtitles. Then, watch or listen again with subtitles to check your understanding and identify any areas you missed.
Okay, that's a great way to practice listening, Maya. And there's the shadowing technique as well.
Right. Shadowing involves listening to a speaker and repeating what they say, mimicking their intonation, rhythm, and pronunciation. It's like being their echo. You can start with short audio clips and gradually increase the length and complexity.
And what about practicing in real-life situations?
That's crucial. Seek out opportunities to practice listening in real conversations. Join language exchange groups, attend English-speaking events, or even just strike up conversations with English speakers in your community.
And don't forget to practice listening with background noise. Real-life conversations rarely happen in a quiet, controlled environment. Practice listening to conversations in noisy environments, like cafes or public transportation.
And even when you are alone, you can create realistic scenarios. For example, listen to a podcast while you are doing chores or exercising. This way, you get used to the sounds of English while multitasking.
And finally, keep a listening journal. After listening to an audio clip or conversation, write down the main points you understood, any new vocabulary you learned, and any challenges you encountered. This will help you track your progress and identify areas for improvement.
Thanks, Leo. These practical tips, combined with the core techniques we discussed earlier, will truly empower our listeners to become active and effective listeners.
Okay, Maya, we've talked a lot about theory. Now let's put these active listening skills to the test with a practice exercise.
Excellent idea, Leo. I'm excited to see how our listeners do.
I'm going to play a short audio clip of a conversation between two people. They're discussing a recent movie they watched. Listen carefully and try to answer these questions. What is the main theme of the movie they're discussing? What are the speaker's opinions of the movie? And what key phrases or words did they use to express their opinions?
And remember, listeners, focus on active listening techniques. Pay attention to tone of voice, any pauses, and try to pick up on any nonverbal cues that might be implied in the audio.
So Sarah, did you finally see Nexus Protocol? Everyone's been talking about it.
Yeah, I did, just last night. Honestly, Jake, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Mind-blowing, right? I mean, the whole AI consciousness thing, the ethical dilemmas, it really makes you think.
It definitely did. I get what they were going for, but I have to admit, I found it a bit slow in parts. Especially that whole philosophical debate in the middle. It dragged on a bit, don't you think?
I actually liked that part. I thought it was really thought-provoking. But I get what you mean. It wasn't exactly action-packed.
No, it wasn't. But the special effects were top-notch. I mean, those simulations of the digital world? Wow.
Totally agree. Visually, it was stunning. But I think the real strength of the movie was in the story. The ending, though, I'm still not sure what to make of it.
Yeah, that ending was ambiguous, to say the least. I was left with more questions than answers.
Exactly. But that's what makes it interesting, right? It's not just a typical sci-fi flick. It makes you think about the future, about what's possible, about what's right and wrong.
I guess so. It definitely wasn't your run-of-the-mill blockbuster. It was different.
Different, but good?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's definitely a movie you need to discuss afterwards.
Definitely. We should grab coffee again and really delve into all the details.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, listeners, what did you hear? What was the main theme of the movie?
Were their opinions positive, negative, or mixed?
And what key phrases or words did they use to express their opinions? Let us know in the comments below.
Let's break it down together. The movie was a sci-fi film with themes of artificial intelligence and the future of humanity. The speakers had mixed opinions. One thought it was mind-blowing and thought-provoking, praising the complex themes. The other found it a bit slow in parts, but acknowledged that the, quote, special effects were top-notch. Did you catch those phrases? Dear listeners, can you frame some other sentences using these phrases? Write down in the comments below.
And remember, it's okay if you didn't get everything. The point of this exercise is to practice focusing on the key points and understanding the speaker's emotions. We're training our ears and our minds to become more attuned to the nuances of English.
And remember those active listening techniques. Did you focus on the tone of voice? Did you notice any implied pauses that suggested hesitation or emphasis?
Exactly. Even without visuals, we can glean a lot of information by paying close attention to the audio.
And if you want to practice even more, try replaying the audio clip and focusing on different aspects. You could focus on the speaker's tone of voice, their use of idioms, or their overall emotional state.
This is how we build our active listening muscles, Maya. By consistently practicing and reflecting on our listening skills, we'll become more confident and effective communicators.
And don't forget, you can also use this practice method with any English audio you encounter. Podcasts, audiobooks, interviews, they're all opportunities to practice active listening. Even the videos on this channel can also help you a lot to listen actively and improve your English. So do subscribe to the English Café and tap the bell icon to never miss any updates.
Maya, we focused a lot on the auditory aspect of active listening, but we can't ignore the visual side, can we? Body language speaks volumes.
Absolutely, Leo. It's like a silent language that often complements or even contradicts the spoken words. For English learners, understanding body language is crucial for navigating conversations effectively.
So, where do we start? What are some key aspects of body language we should be aware of?
Let's start with facial expressions. These are often the most obvious indicators of emotion. A genuine smile can convey warmth and friendliness, while a furrowed brow might suggest confusion or concern.
And it's not just about broad expressions, right? Even subtle changes in eye contact can convey meaning.
Exactly. Eye contact can indicate engagement, interest, or even discomfort. In many Western cultures, maintaining moderate eye contact is a sign of attentiveness, but in other cultures, it might be seen as disrespectful.
That's an important cultural nuance to remember. What about hand gestures?
Hand gestures can be incredibly expressive, but they can also be culturally specific. For example, a thumbs-up gesture might be positive in some cultures, but offensive in others. It's important to observe how native English speakers use their hands in different contexts.
And what about posture?
Posture can reveal a lot about a person's confidence, openness, or even their emotional state. A person who is sitting or standing upright with their shoulders back is generally perceived as confident, while someone who is slumped over might appear disinterested or insecure.
So it's not just about observing individual gestures, it's about understanding the overall picture.
Precisely. And it's not just about understanding the speaker's body language, it's also about being aware of our own. Our body language can influence how others perceive us and how effectively we communicate.
So how can English learners improve their understanding of body language?
One way is to observe native English speakers in real-life situations. Pay attention to their facial expressions, gestures, and posture. Another way is to watch videos and movies with the sound off. This forces you to focus solely on the visual cues.
That's a great exercise. And I imagine cultural awareness plays a big role as well.
Absolutely. Researching cultural differences in body language can help you avoid misunderstandings and build stronger connections with English speakers from diverse backgrounds.
And remember, body language is often subconscious. People may not even be aware of the messages they're sending.
That's why it's so important to be mindful of our own body language and to interpret the body language of others with sensitivity and empathy.
By paying attention to body language, we can gain a deeper understanding of the speaker's message and enhance our overall communication skills.
Yes, it's like adding another layer of understanding to our listening skills.
So Maya, it's clear that active listening isn't just a skill for language learners. It's a fundamental life skill.
Absolutely, Leo. It's about building bridges, fostering understanding, and connecting with people on a deeper level. And for English learners, it's the key to unlocking fluency and confidence.
So it's more than just hearing words. It's about truly understanding the speaker's message, their emotions, and their intentions. It's about empathy, engagement, and presence.
Yes, Leo. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being present and making a conscious effort to listen actively. Don't be discouraged by occasional misunderstandings or moments of distraction. The important thing is to keep practicing and keep improving.
So here's what you can do, dear listeners. Start implementing these active listening techniques today. Choose 1 or 2 tips that resonate with you and make them a part of your daily English practice.
For example, you could commit to practicing shadowing for 15 minutes each day, or to listening to a podcast with diverse accents while doing your daily commute. Or you can decide that today you will practice active listening in one conversation with a native English speaker.
And don't forget to incorporate body language awareness into your practice. Observe how native English speakers use nonverbal cues in different situations. Watch movies or TV shows with the sound off and try to interpret the characters' emotions based on their body language alone.
We also encourage you to share your active listening experiences and insights with us and with your fellow learners. Use the hashtag #TheEnglishCafe on social media to connect with our community and share your progress.
And if you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to The English Café and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us create more valuable content for you.
Remember, your journey to English fluency is a marathon, not a sprint. Active listening is a powerful tool that will help you stay motivated, engaged, and connected throughout your journey.
So go out there, tune in, and truly listen. Let's build those language bridges together, one conversation at a time.
Thank you for joining us on The English Café. We'll see you in the next episode. Till then, keep practicing.